Well, I think it's safe to say that I made a few people nervous this evening. Traffic was a bit challenging, so Michael, thank you so much for compensating so well for me. I think I made everyone go out of turn. First, I would like to thank Tracy for inviting me to be a part of this fabulous evening. Thank you, Tracy. To really speak upon something that I am truly passionate about. I remember when I first became a mom, and we all enter the moms groups. We were asked to bring 3 items that represented us on our life's journey. So typically, moms brought pieces of clothing, jewelry. I think one even brought a poem. I brought a hammer, a chisel, and a saw. Now, you can only imagine what the moms were thinking, but it definitely got them intrigued. You see, the hammer represented the willingness that I must have to mend whatever relationships that I needed to mend that prevented my optimizing my wellness. The chisel represented the willingness to be refined on life's journey, to be teachable, to reflect and learn from the mistakes of mine and others. The saw represented the willingness to sever or to eliminate various roadblocks that prevented me from reaching my ultimate goal. Believe me, in the last 20 years, I have been tested with all 3 tools. Although it's very difficult to separate the mind, body, and spirit because they all work integratively together, I will do my best to stay in my lane. But warning, I at times have a hard time doing that. So I have a PowerPoint that will hopefully help you understand the points that I'm making. I have it down to 4 key elements: physical activity, healthy eating, sleep, mental health, and emotional wellness. We all know the ideal minimum requirements of moving our bodies. We all know the extensive research and the benefits. However, the challenge lies is when we get older or we are confronted with various health challenges, how do we stay motivated? I will tell you from personal experience, tell me to give up sugar, no problem. Tell me to give up bread, okay. Tell me to take some vitamins, I'll pop them. But tell me to move my body, it's been my greatest challenge. I think I spend more time convincing myself why I shouldn't, and that time could have been spent doing. The challenge when we have various chronic conditions and our joints are not what they used to be, those are the people that need it the most. So I say to myself every day, my mantra, I need it the most. The bottom line is just get moving. It's the external motivation, whatever it takes. So for myself, I pick a fabulous friend that I adore. She comes to my house at 5 a.m. and she knocks on my door. Now, I know I'm not going to stand her up. I get out of bed and I put my sneakers on. But whether it's walking the dog or walking with a fabulous friend, or like myself, I started by parking at the farthest parking space in the Safeway parking lot. Whatever steps you need to make, it's a customized approach. Because where you're at in your physical journey, someone may be different, but just get moving. The next aspect is healthy eating. The nutritional needs of individuals vary. We can all agree that flaming hot Cheetos doesn't necessarily meet the nutritional needs, although it may meet some emotional needs. You can have a well-balanced diet, but not necessarily meeting the nutritional needs of the individual. We now appreciate that food is medicine. Food sensitivities and intolerances are no longer a rare occurrence. A matter of fact, the American Academy of Gastroenterology is now recognizing that there is such a thing as gluten intolerance. Did I hear some laughs? Say that again? It took them a long time, and many diagnoses of MS and psychiatric illnesses and other neurological disorders, correct? I totally agree with you. Oh. Am I ruining my own PowerPoint, Pearl?
No.
Probably.
It's being difficult.
Yeah, I think I'm on that one. I think that's the one? Yeah.
Sorry.
So a well-balanced diet is not just enough. It's the food quality, or quality of food. More than 80% of all GMO grown worldwide are engineered for herbicide tolerance. Herbicides such as Roundup has increased 16 times since GMOs were introduced. So the bottom line is, go to the Palo Alto Farmers Market, interview your farmers, and eat food to table. Or no, farm to table. Certified organic, get to know your farmers. It's the most important aspect to our healing is our nutrition. I'm asked frequently when I give nutritional lectures, well, give us specifics. What should we go out and buy? And everyone gets so frustrated with me because I'm very ambiguous. The reason for that being is that my nutritional deficiencies is not necessarily yours. It's a customized approach, individual medicine. But I will give you some basics. Vitamin D. Everyone should have a baseline vitamin D measured, and not at the low end of the range, which a lot of people are not even in the range, to be honest. But we want to be at the higher end of the range, nutritionally, so we can have optimization. Vitamin D plays a huge role in cell growth, neuromuscular, and immune function. Matter of fact, it's not even a vitamin, it's a hormone. Vitamin B6, women need at least 1.5 milligrams per day. Men, they need a little bit more. Benefits include protecting the immune system, positive effects on metabolism, and in working in women's health, we always made sure that our young women that were suffering from PMS or PMDD always had adequate B6. It helps optimize hormone function. Vitamin B12, it's not unusual to see those over the age of 50 having trouble absorbing vitamin B12. B12 deficiency is thought to be one of the leading nutrient deficiencies in the world. It helps with energy, mood, memory. Anything below a level of 500, we start seeing neurological issues. So we need vitamin B12, iron, to make red blood cells. Folate, essential for cell growth and repair. And of course, calcium for strong bones and teeth. Anyone over the age of 51 really needs, at a bare minimum, 1,200 milligrams a day and 1,000 milligrams a day for men. The best source of your vitamins are from what? Food. So That's why I don't want you to go to Whole Foods and start buying all these vitamins. Because the best source is the good quality food. But of course, we have seen patients that no matter what they do, their vitamin D levels, for example, never seem to rise. We did a study with 200 patients over a 12-month period. Each one had less than 30 vitamin D levels, which the normal range is 30 to 100. We gave them 5,000 international units of vitamin D. At the 6-month mark, the average increase was only by 5 points. Because we're not absorbing. That's right, you said it. We're not absorbing. So we increased it to 10,000 international units. And at the 12-month mark, we started to see some improvement. But it needed to be monitored, and people needed extended periods of time on it. Some even needed a topical solution because they simply were not absorbing. A great source of minerals is Himalayan salt. Who knows Himalayan salt? 84 different minerals in Himalayan salt. But one of the problems with Himalayan salt is that it doesn't taste like salt, right? So I always put it on my food after. I never season with Himalayan salt because you can overdo it, especially if you have blood pressure issues. Let's see if, there it is. Sleep. Very interesting. I'm going to ask you all a question. And I'm always amazed about the answers. Is sleep an option? No, it's not. But it's amazing how many people think it is. Over 50% of adults over the age of 50 report difficulty in sleeping, not achieving the 4 stages essential for functioning. We know that sleep is essential to the ability to function on a daily basis. Lack of sleep affects, or sleep deprivation, whether it's total or partial, makes adverse cognitive changes. I remember when I first had my babies, I was asked to add numbers. I couldn't even add numbers. That's the effect of sleep. There are many different biological reasons why someone may experience poor sleep quality. It's usually a symptom of a bigger problem. And as we age, we actually have more difficulty in sleeping. Some of the nutritional interventions that I have used over the past 20 years is a product called Calm, C-A-L-M. You get it at your local health food store. Who knows Calm? There you go. Calm is magnesium. Magnesium helps increase GABA of the brain, and it helps lower cortisol. And it helps people sleep. Usually when people have difficulties with insomnia, what we see is very high cortisol levels at night and low in the morning. They're reversed. So magnesium decreases the cortisol at night and rebounds them during the day, helping with that reversal. I've also used amino acid therapy to support serotonin levels, GABA levels, dopamine levels, sleep hygiene, stress reduction, diet modification. I had a patient one time at the Stanford Sleep Center, I'll never forget this, where they thought she had a sleep disorder. She didn't have a sleep disorder. She had an autoimmune disorder causing a sleep disorder. So finding the root cause of your sleep disturbance is essential in the treatment and management. Emotional wellness. I believe we're going to touch more on this in the next lecture. I will touch briefly. We live in a time where most people are in a fight or flight response. We're running, and most of us don't know where we're running to. Raising children, maintaining career, family, marriage, sense of community. It can be truly overwhelming. Expectations that we had in our 20s and we realize in our 40s are unrealistic. I have learned over the years to actively seek peace. Being a type A personality that I am, that took a decision. I had to make a decision to actively make decisions on a daily basis that supported my ultimate goal of peace. The ultimate answer. You know, when I was preparing for this lecture, I wasn't really ready for the ultimate answer. It came about in a very, very strange way, and it really surprised myself. I had the pleasure of working several years with a boy. I might start crying. At the age of 3, he started to ride his bike. He exceeded all milestones and expectations of his parents. Until the age of 6, he was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition of the brain that left him permanently disabled. Sorry, my notes are not in order. When I was reviewing my lecture, I happened to come over a conversation with him, and he said, "Well, don't you know what the key to ultimate wellness is?" And my pride, of course, I was thinking very hard that I better get this one correct. He sensed my pause and hesitation, and he looked me in the eye, and he said simply, "Love." I realized that despite all of our efforts, unforeseen occurrences befall us all. But just like he expressed, when one is going through various trials and tribulations of life, he said, "The love that I feel around me made my journey so much easier." So that's the thought that I'm going to leave with you today. Eat well, sleep well, and love well. Thank you.